Sorry, man.
Can you believe that almost 2,000 years ago, just with this body expression, just a person could decide the destiny of thousands and thousands of people? Yeah, it happened in the place that we are going to introduce. So now you are inside this building.
Yeah. Now that you are inside with us, we'll talk about three points. So first, what's the Colosseum? Then why this monument was built, and finally about the current situation of this monument.
So let's get started with the first point. What is the Colosseum? The Colosseum is the name of this building, and it's the most famous and known name. But the original name of this building is a Latin name, and is Amphitheatrum Flavium. And in English translation is Amphitheater Flavian. Why it's called Amphitheater Flavian? Amphitheater because it was and it's still the biggest Latin amphitheater in the world. And its map is elliptical, and it's an amphitheater. And why Flavian? Flavian because it was built by the Flavian dynasty of the Roman emperors. Vespasian in the 70 AD started building the Colosseum. Titus, his son, continued, and the the building and the construction of this monument finished with Domitian. So that's why it's called Amphitheatrum Flavian. This dynasty followed the reign of Nero, and the reason why this building is called Colosseum derives from a statue of Nero who was nearby this area. That statue was really big, so the name Colosseum derives from the Colossus of Nero. Colossus means big, huge. That's why it's called Colosseum. This monument is one of the greatest works of the ancient Roman Empire. It's an amazing monument about architecture and engineering. And like I said, it's the largest amphitheater in the world. So now you know, yes, this is the first map of when the amphitheater Flavian was built, and this is the map of Rome at that time. Like you can see, the Colosseum was in the heart of the city, as like it's important meaning is it was like the heart of the city. Yes, and so. And this is a picture nowadays. So now you know what is this building, what is the Colosseum.
Yeah, so I will explain the second point, why the Colosseum was built. So the Colosseum was used for gladiatorial contests, public spectacles, such as boxing battles, but also for executions and for hunting animals. Thousands of animals were hunted for the opening of the Colosseum. It was also used by for reenactments of famous battle and drama based on the classical mythology. So at first, it was the emperor who controlled the Colosseum, but in the early medieval age, the Pope took the control of this monument, and the Colosseum ceased to be used as for entertainment purposes. It was later used as for housing, for workshops, quarter of religious order, also for fortress, Christian shrine, and finally as a cemetery. But yeah, the main purpose of the building of the Colosseum was showing the glory of the Roman Empire. So now that you know what's the Colosseum and why it was built,
I will speak about the current situation of this movement. Now, this is the Colosseum. During the years, during the history, it's been damaged by a lot of things, by earthquakes, by fires, and by stone robbers. Now maybe the situation of culture in Italy is not so good, so it's expensive to maintain this kind of monuments. But because of a lot of tourists every year and every day visit these monuments still to be the most visited monument in Italy, and maybe one of the most visited all around the world. It's the expression of the imperial Rome, ancient imperial Rome. So a lot of people are attracted by this monument. It's not just construction; it's also something connected to the history of all the world, because the world, maybe a lot of things were invented by the Romans at the time. Now I can say some statistics about this. Every year, like the Taj Mahal, it's the same. Around 4 million of visitors come to Italy to visit this monument, and approximately 10,000 visitors per day. If you want to enter, and if you are a European citizen, and if you are older than 65 years old or younger than 18, it's free, the entrance. If you are not European, and if you are not in this range of age, you have to pay 12 euros. 12 euros are around 18 Canadian dollars. So, yeah. And outside the Colosseum, you can find a lot of gladiators, people who pretend to be gladiators, and for sure they make a lot of money in the picture. And this is the actual situation, and this is the coin, euro coin of Italian version of the 5 cents, 5 euro cents, and on the back there is the Colosseum. This is just a curiosity about the Colosseum. And a lot of buildings all around the world were built and are inspired by the architecture of Colosseum. This building, maybe you don't know, maybe you know, this building is in Canada, is in Vancouver, and it's the public library in Vancouver, and it was built, and the inspiration was the Italian Colosseum. Okay, so
so now that you know these 3 points, so what's the Colosseum, why it was built, and about the current situation, we hope that you can understand why this amazing monument is part of the 7th wonder of the world.
Yes, and you have just visited virtually this monument now, but if you want to visit practically, physically this monument, there are 2 guides in Europe that are waiting for you. So maybe we can be your guides if you come to Italy. We can teach you. We can visit together this week. Thank you.